Hi, my name's Paige, and these are the books that I read last week. So I read these books over the course of the last few days, and I had a really fun time. These are the first Brandon Sanderson books that I've ever picked up. I know that he seems to mostly write adult, and these are YA, but I am really glad that I finally got to these and that I can say that I've read a Brandon Sanderson book now. I will insert the clips of me reacting to both of these books in here. There will be some spoilers for Starsight. There are none for Skyward as I'm reacting. The Starsight spoilers will have a warning, and I will put the word spoiler on there so you can scroll by if you don't want to watch those. My AC is just gonna be on and we're just gonna have to deal with that. All right, I have been putting off reading Starsight almost all day long. I don't really know why. I think I'm a little intimidated that I'm not going to like it, even though I think that this will be at least 4 stars for me, just because of the way everyone talks about it. It sounds so good, and that intimidates me. And it's the first Brandon Sanderson that I'm ever going to read, and everyone says that Brandon Sanderson is like king with all of the stories that everyone loves by him. So it scares me a little bit to like, what if I don't like it, or what if I don't understand it, or I'm bored by it? So I'm just making lots of excuses, so I need to read it. This has 510 pages, and I'm hoping to get halfway through today and then finish the other half tomorrow. It might take me 3 days though. That's what I'm predicting, that I might not be able to get to halfway today. So I am about 150 pages in, and it's as good as people say it is. Of course, my AC turns on right when I turn this on. What in the world? I do like it. I really like Spensa. I am really glad there are so many female characters. I know it's written by a man, but having so many female characters who are doing something like becoming pilots is super awesome. I'm not good with sci-fi aspects, so I can't visualize everything. So a lot of the times I don't really know what things would look like, or I can't really picture any of that. So I keep looking back at the map that's in there, hoping that it'll help me a little bit. But I like it. It's fun. I'm tired, but I'm gonna probably try and read for another hour to try and get halfway if I can, or as close to halfway as possible, so that I can continue reading tomorrow. So it's good. It is good. I like this a lot. It's the next day, and I have not made it very far. I've made it about halfway now. But yeah, this is how I bookmark. I like hardbacks, and I read them with the dust jackets on, and I just slide the little flaps as my bookmarks. I don't like bookmarks. I won't remember. And if I don't have a bookmark and I don't have a dust jacket, I just lay it flat. Ooh, is that bad? But I do like where this is going. I'm just not picking it up right now just because I'm so tired. I'm not sleeping very well lately, and it's making me not want to read because words are hard when you're tired. But I like where it's going. I think I know where it's going, but like I'm hoping that I'm wrong and that it's kind of a shock later. But I don't want to give any spoilers really in this vlog, but there is something that Spensa found, and I feel like it's really important. And I also think that things are not what they seemed. In the very, very, very first chapter, you find out that her dad died, and I feel like it's just not what you think it is. So I don't know if the book's leading you to like think that things aren't what they seem, and then it's just gonna like surprise you at the end and be like, haha, tricked you, or if it's like really like things aren't what they seem, and this little thing that she found is pretty important. So I'm excited to see where it goes. I don't think I'll be able to finish today. It's just the words are hard. Not because it's a hard story to read, just because words are hard to do right now, because I just want to go to sleep. So I will check in at the end of the day. So I didn't do the greatest job reading today. It just didn't happen. But I made it 50 more pages, so I'm a little over halfway, and I am liking it. I'm just feeling like the plot is very slow right now. I expected more action to be happening, and maybe because it's the first of a series, it's just taken its time to get there. I also feel like the big mystery question mark part of the story isn't as big as it seems, unless there's something that I'm missing. It just feels like it will be obvious, but it might not be. I don't know. I do like a character, I guess, that she meets. I am a fan of it. It. I don't want to give spoilers, but there is a character in here that I like. And I'm also realizing that you are not supposed to get attached to characters in this because, well, they don't all survive. But it's good. It's really funny. I really do think this is very funny. And I said that I was surprised. Did I say that I was surprised? I don't know how I worded it, but I was shocked that Brandon Sanderson was writing as a girl and put a lot of girl characters in there. I think it's because I have never read a story written by a man that is told in the point of view of a female. It's usually females writing in the point of views of males. And that's very interesting, but I think he's doing such a good job. I feel like she is such a teenage girl, and she is a really funny character. She's so stubborn, and she's so in her head all the time thinking that she knows what's best, but then she has moments where she like super doubts herself, just like a normal teenager does. And I think that's really awesome, but it's not as fast-paced as I thought this would be. I thought we would already be like onto like big battles and cool craziness and her going off on some crazy adventure, but it's taking its time making sure that she knows how to be a pilot. It is 8:40 at night and I have not picked up my book at all, and I'm also wearing makeup and my hair is like not done, but it's clean because I filmed the book and makeup tag, which should be up already by the time you're watching this. I just wasn't picking it up. I was doing other things. I was making sure I have my video edited for tomorrow, which is the Reading Rush TBR that I'm putting up. And then I filmed this video and I watched through it to make sure that it's coherent enough for me to do and not have to redo. And yeah, I've had a big headache too. My family is starting the keto diet again, and not having sugar for a couple of days is giving me a headache, but it will be good in the long run. So I am going to pick up the book right now, maybe. Probably in like 20 minutes. I'll go to 9 o'clock and then try and read for a couple of hours. So it will not be done today, but I will let you know how far I get at the end of the night. So remember how I said I wasn't gonna finish this? It's 1:45 in the morning and I just finished it, and yeah, that's worth the hype. Oh my gosh. I have thoughts. I don't even know how to wrap everything up in my brain and put it into sentences that make sense. But this was so unexpected, and I think that's why I love it so much. I think there's my AC kicking on, of course, sorry. I think this is nothing like anything I've ever read, which makes it so exciting. I expected to go in and have a main female girl who meets a guy who happens to be really rich, because there is a guy like that in this story, and I thought that they were going to get really close and she was going to get to know him and he was going to help her become a pilot, and we would quickly go over her being a pilot, and then she would go out into the world and like try and go up against the government, I guess. That's what I expected to go into because that's how stories seem to go, and this did none of that. It took its time to build her up to be a pilot, and it was so realistic. He didn't stray away from training. He let her and the rest of the characters in this become trained and do things and work things out for themselves and have problems, and not everything just falls into place. Things don't always work out the way they want them to, but they learn from those mistakes and they learn from those things, and it was so cool to see a story that does that. I haven't read anything like that, I don't think, and maybe it's because I'm not picking stories that have that sort of quality to them, and I just go for like young adult romance fantasy stories, which I do. So this was super exciting. I thought it was going to be so obvious what was happening, and not at all for me, unless this is very typical in his sort of writing for people at this caliber, I guess. But it did not follow a formula that I expected, and I love that so much. It was really exciting. I did have one issue, and that is that his relationships aren't great. I felt like there would be characters that would get introduced, and I would think that like, oh, Spensa's gonna have a really solid friendship or just conversations with this person, and those did not happen. She had the best conversations with an inanimate object. I guess is the best I can do without being too spoilery, but that's something that I wish was better, that the relationships between characters were stronger, that the friendships were a little bit stronger, and that they had more interactions and jokes and stuff with each other. They were still good when they were on screen, but it just didn't feel like enough for me to feel like they were strong friends. But it was, yeah, it was good. It was worth the hype. I am very excited to start the next one. I heard somewhere, I don't know who said it, but the next one ends maybe on a cliffhanger, and Sanderson has no plans to continue it soon, so it might be a long time before there's a third or fourth book coming out, and like, I'm gonna be so sad if this next one ends on something big and I have to wait years before I get another one, because I really like this. Oh my gosh, I'm like wide awake now. I guess I'll check in when I start Skyward. Starsight, that's the one. I started Starsight. I keep messing these names up. I started Starsight today. I am 75 pages in, so I can't really give a great first impression, but I feel like it's lacking what the other one has. It jumped 6 months in time, which I like that it wasn't like a drastic time jump, but things are happening very conveniently, and I really liked that it did not happen like that in Skyward, and it's doing it in this. And I worry that things will continue to be very convenient. Something just happened already on page 75 where I felt like they were gonna take their time to build up to that point, but it's already about to happen, and that worries me. So hopefully it will be better the more I keep reading, but I'm a little sad that that was so convenient. I also really like, I don't want to say who it is, it's not a human, but I like him a lot. He's funny. So if you've ever read those, you probably know who I'm talking about. If you haven't, then if you start reading them, you will know who I'm talking about. But I like that character, and a little creature is really cute. So I'll check in at the end of the day, see how far I get. I mean, who knows? I might finish this today. I doubt it, but I said that yesterday, and I finished that book this morning, so we'll see. I made it to page 100 for the night. I had been editing a video earlier, so I didn't pick it up, and then I remembered that I forgot to watch the TV show, The 100, so I'm going to do that now. But my first impression of Starsight, why do I keep messing that up, is that it is different than the first book. It doesn't feel exactly the same. I mean, there's certain elements that are pretty similar, but things went really fast in this one so far, and I did not expect it to take this approach, and I'm kind of bummed by the lack of, I don't know how to word this without putting spoilers, but I am not loving how few people are in the parts that I am currently reading about. And none of this makes sense because I'm trying to not have spoilers, but okay, so I haven't picked up Starsight all day today, and I picked it up around 11:30 at night, so it is almost 1 in the morning, and I only made it about 30-40 pages. Well, that makes me really bummed because I'm not liking this one. I feel like in between book 1 and now there was just a lot of missing pieces. So this might be a spoiler right now, that I feel like at the beginning of this book I expected to be getting a plan for what she was about to do to go to this other planet, pretty much, or like to go out into space, and I expected a month of them talking about this plan and hashing it out, and the probability of the plan not working being really high, but then going out into space and going to where this place is. But she had 5 minutes to decide to go to this place, and now she's on a different planet without any of the characters besides M-Bot and Doomslug. I don't know if she's going to be here a while. I'm expecting it to be most of the story because she's like on a spy mission when the book already like acknowledged that she is not a spy. So that's bothering me a lot. So like all the characters that I was introduced to in the first book, I just need to not think about them anymore and worry about what she's doing now. It doesn't make any sense. So I'm hoping that she goes back to her planet soon. I don't think she will though. I feel like this is like how it's gonna go, and I just feel like I'm missing an entire book on all this planning and working up to like what they need to do for their society and what they need because they want to get more ships and technology, and figuring out how they're going to do that, and then trying a mission as like a couple of people. But this is like a one-man show here, and I don't know how I feel about that. I really like reading stories with character relationships, and this is lacking it so much, and I just don't want to pick it up. Okay, and spoilers. So it's not my favorite. It's still, like I said, it's so convenient how everything is happening, and this, like, I guess Spensa's on a mission right now, and this mission that she is on happened so unexpectedly, and what she's doing there is just, it doesn't feel like the first story. Oh, and one more spoiler. I am predicting that M-Bot is going to go bad because he keeps talking about trying to like change his personality and is scared about like what he will become. And I think that means that eventually, maybe not in this book, but like in the next couple of books, he's gonna go bad, and it's gonna be really sad because M-Bot is probably the best character because he's the only one that we get any relationship with. That's a prediction. We'll find out, I guess, someday, maybe at the end of this book, or maybe when the other books happen. I feel like this is going to take me a while to get through. I might just try and power through tomorrow because I don't want to read anymore tonight. I'm tired. But I might just try and power through and hope for the best. Maybe things will get better. I finally finished Starsight. I will say that the last half of the book is much better than the first half. I think I was really struggling just with the direction that the story went. I also feel like this book feels a whole lot more like a third book in a series than a second book in a series, and I can't really explain that without giving a lot of spoilers, so I'm going to just not give spoilers on this, and if I do, I will mark that and let you know if I'm about to. But yeah, it just felt like there should only be one more book to tie everything up, but there's 2 more books in the plans to tie everything up, which makes me think that like things are gonna get even crazier from here. But it did grow on me the more I read. I had to just not pick up my camera and record my thoughts. I just needed to power through the past couple of days just to get through it because I was struggling to pick it up. Between the first book and the second book, I will say that there are a lot of new characters and very limited interactions with old characters that we got used to, so that was pretty jarring to me. There were just some parts of it that I felt were still, I already said it a couple of times, but I feel like it was just too convenient, and this book didn't really make things feel as realistic to what would happen. It felt more like Spensa just kept getting lucky and nothing was really going wrong, in my opinion. Some things were going wrong. It just was a little bit more perfect than the first book was, where she just kept screwing up a lot and she was learning from those mistakes, and this time she screwed up a lot less. And I guess she's older, she's more experienced too, but I don't know. It just didn't feel a whole lot like the same book, but at the same time, like, I can understand that she like grew a little bit more and she was a little bit wiser too. So I didn't hate it. I think I'm going to give Skyward 5 stars, and this one is like 3.5, 3.75 that'll round up to 4 stars. So I will read the rest of the series. I need to know what happens, especially at the end. Ooh, the last like 100 pages I was into it, and the last like 10 I need to know what's gonna happen. So especially to a couple of characters that I'm very attached to. Oh, and one thing, I'm gonna put spoilers here now. Maybe. I don't know if this is a spoiler. I'll put spoilers here anyway, just in case it is a spoiler, but it might not be. So do with that what you will. In this book, you find out that a character has a certain ability that Spensa also has. But I feel like that wasn't hinted at all in the first book. It came out of nowhere. Maybe it is. Like, I'm curious if that's something, if I go back, I could see signs for that. Like, there was another reveal that another character had an ability, but I feel like that one was hinted at. It made more sense. But this one, I was very, very shocked. That one came out of nowhere. So that was something that I didn't expect, and I just wonder if that was more obvious in the first book than this one. Also, I feel like the characters we were introduced to in this book, I connected to so much more than in the first book. I feel like his character relationships were a little bit better in this book than the other book, which is kind of sad because we're supposed to like care more about, I don't know if you're supposed to care more about the old characters, but we've lived with them a little bit longer even though we don't see them as much, so it's about equal parts. It's interesting where the story is going. It's gonna be kind of crazy. It was a fun time. I'm glad I read them. Now to wait a year or so until the next one. I guess I will see you in my outro if I make one. So yeah, as you can see, I had a really fun time. Skyward is definitely my favorite of the two, and Starsight was okay. I struggled through that one a lot, but I like where the story is about to go. I cannot wait for the next few books. I am sad that we have to wait until probably the spring of 2021, maybe longer. I've heard that people say that he puts out books when he says that he will. So that makes me really excited that it's not gonna be too long. But thank you for watching this. I hope that you liked it. Let me know if you agree with any of my thoughts on these, if you have read these yet and what you thought about these books. And if you haven't, I hope that you want to now because they were good. That's all. I will see you later. Bye.